Okay, strobe light, come on, headlight, come on. Beacon is on. Start taxiing. So 5 screens gives me 180-degree wing-to-wing view, which is something I've never experienced before. So already I can feel the motion in the full motion cockpit here. Okay, left rudder pedal. So these are the rudder rudders underneath. Independent toe brakes, full control. The actual audio in this sim is pretty cool. I don't know what the speakers are, but the audio appears to be coming from behind the speakers though. The cool thing about these cockpits is you climb inside them and you just forget about the world. You're inside the sim, you're inside the cockpit of this plane. Wow, the actual rotation there was fantastic. The whole thing just tipped over as I did that. But once you're inside this, you just forget what's going on because you're flying. Right, let's throttle up. Straighten her up. Let's go flying. Airspeed's building. A lot of jostling as we go down the runway. Let's pull back. And we are up. Wow. The whole thing just pitched back. It really puts a smile on your face when you fly this thing. Wonderfully smooth. As I tilt to the right, I can feel the pressure on the right side. The whole cockpit is tilting over. Just trimming out now. Keep a steady climb going. Peripheral vision is the one thing that you notice in this. Looking from the left to the right, it's like VR but without the VR. You've got the immersion is there. Let's pitch down a bit more. Full G1000s, I can see exactly where I am. Adjust the range, just dial that in there. See we're following the course. The water, lowy behind us, we'll turn around and shoot an approach. The actual feel of the switches is just wonderfully clicky and solid. Got these like rubber covers on them. Everything is just like, this trim wheel is super smooth. It's fantastic to use. This bit of kit here, these G1000s are just sublime. But there's nothing here that just feels, you know, plasticky or clicky. It just feels pretty solid. The motion itself is really smooth. The actual screen layout as well is, there's not much of a bar between each screen. So you get the real sense of 180-degree view. Okay, we're going to throttle back now. Drop the flaps. But the whole thing right now just feels alive. There's like wing turbulence going on. The wings are getting kicked around. And all the time the cockpit's moving. I think the feeling of when you tip the wings over like that, as you adjust, the actual attitude of the aircraft is translated into movement of the whole cockpit. And so, you know, what your mind is sensing and what you're seeing, they line up. And that's the important thing about the sim. That's what it has to do. You've got these 2 ventilation fans here just kind of keeping you cool. Right, I'm going to try 180 now, shoot that approach. But you can kind of, it's like being in a real aircraft. You get this, the plane is never just static. It's always slightly bobbling around on the air, and that's exactly what you get in this sim. So I'm using the 5-screen peripheral vision to just get a sense of where I am. You're just able to look around and see where you are and see what you're doing. It's just fantastic. It's a bit like what you do in VR, except with this, you maintain view of all of the controls. You know, you've got the cockpit to keep you steady, so you don't get the same motion sickness that you get from a VR setup. All right, we got this. A little bit high. There we go. All right. Throttle it back. Fantastic. Yeah, with the VR setup, you can often feel quite queasy. A lot of people feel queasy, but I think with this, you wouldn't have the same problem. Because you've got this whole area here, this whole cockpit is stationary with you, and what's moving is everything that's in your view, and the feeling of being in this cockpit. And let's throttle that back. I don't think you'd get the same motion sickness that you would from this. I certainly haven't felt sick at all, and I've been flying around. It's been fantastic. It feels, I don't know, it just feels real. Like I've been doing PPL, so I've been flying in real planes. And this is the closest thing I think I've experienced to the actual feeling of flight in a GA plane. It's yeah, it's an experience.